It's Michelle, and it's another video for Krav Maga at Yale. If you're watching this, that means you've passed the level 2 fitness test. Congratulations! If you haven't and you're watching this video, don't worry, you can pass the test right here and view all of our previous videos to catch up. Now, if you go to Yale, please sign in the link in the description below so that we can know you're watching. And whether you go to Yale or not, please warm up and drink some water because it's time for our next video. Today, we are going to be doing kicks from the ground. Kicks from the ground are pretty interesting. They're a combination of both fitness and self-defense, and they are a key component of ground fighting. So ground fighting occurs in something like 90% of fights. You know, it seems so neat. You've learned these defenses. You know what to do if someone gives you a front choke, if someone is suddenly trying to pick you up from the back in a bear hug. You know what to do. But it's not so cut and dry. After all, there are no rules in Krav Maga, and there aren't really rules in the real world either. There's just patterns, and the patterns happen to be that many fights end up on the ground. And this is much more dangerous, especially if your attacker is larger and stronger than you, which is typically the case, otherwise they wouldn't be attacking you. So, you gotta be able to defend yourself when on the ground. So in a situation where you've been pushed down, you're laying on your back or you're laying on your side, you have to be able to do these kicks. Now you don't want to be on your back because that is a very fragile position. You're like a turtle or any kind of animal. You know that they don't like to be trapped on their backs. They never expose their stomachs. You have a lot of sensitive organs here. It's very similar logic to that. You kind of want to use this position to be on your side. This will allow you to be both active and defensive. Now you're going to see several elements in this. You're going to recognize some blocks, which you can find in that video over there. And you should generally also be familiar with kicks in Krav Maga. You can learn some of those right there. So in this position, what ends up happening is you are blocking your face and your head from being hit. You're turning onto your side to prevent your organs from being hit. And you are going to be kicking the attacker to prevent them from coming any closer to you. The main priority is to make sure that they don't hurt you. This is very much a defensive maneuver. There is no situation in which you would attack a person by lying down while they stand up and you kicking them. It's entirely defensive, and therefore you really need to go all out and need to make sure you have lots of endurance here and lots of strength. So let's get started and learn them. I do recommend you bring a yoga mat or some sort of soft surface for this, and perhaps a mirror to see where you're impacting, and a friend or family member to have some sort of shield or pillow for you to impact. These kicks start from a position where you might have fallen and landed on your back or on your side. Either way, you're going to want to, as soon as possible, get onto your side. And I will be on my right side so that I'm facing the camera, but it doesn't matter which side you're on for these kicks. So the first part of these kicks is actually not kicks at all, it's with the arm. You're going to do a block here in order to block your face. I think that this is the best angle. It's kind of as if you're preparing to elbow something in front of you. This way you're blocking behind your head, your ear, your head, everything here, but you could still see upwards, which is where your attacker hypothetically would be coming from, and you can see in front of you. So your hand needs to be here the entire time you're doing these kicks. So that's the initial part. The next part of the kick is the kick itself. That is an impact with these legs, and it's just a bend from sort of a knee position when you're standing, like a low knee, straight. It's at approximately a 45-degree angle from the ground. So this foot is lifted, and it kind of kicks, and then the next foot lifts up and then kicks, and you pedal like this, as if you're on a bike. Now make sure that you're not on your back when you're doing these kicks. When you're on your back, you're very exposed and it's much harder to get up. You actually get a much more powerful angle when you're on your side. And also not fully on your side, because then you're going to end up kicking kind of down. So I kind of balance on my hip bone and then I kick. This arm, you have seen already, is on the ground, fingers splayed to maximize balance. Kick. Like that. The area that you are hitting is if an attacker is standing above you, kind of their knees, their thighs. So if you have a family member or a friend that can hold up a pillow or a kick shield, have them hold it at approximately knee level for themselves while you impact like this. All right, now let's try it on the other side. In this case, so I was on my right side, now I'm on my left. My left arm stays on the ground, my right arm blocks my face, and I'm kicking with my legs, pedaling up here. Make sure you're imagining something that you're going to impact, and you're forcefully trying to hit them. You're not just kind of pretending you're on a bicycle sideways. Remember, you're kicking, 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 kicking. This kick is useful if someone has knocked you to the ground. You want to make sure that they don't get on top of you and punch you or hurt you in any other way. You just want to hit them really hard with your legs. And this is the kind of kick that you might be doing for a while if they keep coming at you and you just got to keep them off of you. Or it might be the kind of kick where you can do a few really powerful ones and then get up. And then your attacker might decide you're not worth the trouble. Because of this, you need to be able to both impact really powerfully and endure. So this is what it looks like on the right. And if you are kicking for a while and your attacker is just not giving up, you actually want to be able to switch sides, to throw them off, and to force them to move. Because you can never do the same thing over and over again, and an attacker will figure out how to get around it. So in this case, let's say I'm kicking on my left side. The attacker might decide to walk around to my right. No problem. I roll over, and because of the purposes of you seeing this better, I'm going to pivot, but in reality you would just roll over onto the other side, end up on this side, and then kick, 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 kick. And then you notice that they've moved again. Just rotate again, kick, 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 and then rotate again. The one thing that you don't want to do is get stuck on your back in between. As I said already, it's a very, very vulnerable position. It's useless if they try and come and attack you. You're not going to be able to hold them off this way. You must be on your side. Let's practice both of those aspects. First, let's just practice some really hard kicks. Let's just do 10 on either side, where you're really focusing on impacting an imaginary attacker's knee or shin while maintaining amazing technique. Great, switch sides. Okay, switching again. This time, let's practice endurance. 45 seconds on each side of the kicks. I'm gonna set a timer and go. Now, don't forget to look where you're kicking as well. Okay, let's switch sides. And start. defended against the attacker. You've kicked them, they've decided to walk away, they've decided you're not worth it, or perhaps they've run away even. What next? How do you get up? This is a technique that's pretty useful to me, and it allows you to get up without relying too much on your hands or on your feet, therefore kind of balancing out any damage that might have been done by you falling, perhaps, and it's very fast and lands you in a Krav Maga home position, which is very useful. So let's try it now. This position begins on your back, and the overview is that you sit up with one of your legs in front of the other, you shift your weight forward so that you end up on one knee, and from there you straighten out and end up in a Krav Maga home position. But let's go do it. You begin on your back. Then, when you're ready to get up, bend one knee over to the side, outwards, and one knee up as you're sitting up. So, either you can bend your right knee up and your left knee left, or you can bend your right knee to the right and your left knee up. So either way, let's practice getting up a few times. Once in this position, once again coming from here, you are going to push off your arms a little bit to transfer your weight forward onto this heel of the leg whose knee is pointing up, and kind of sitting on your other leg. And then from there you can easily get up to be on one knee. Let's try that. As I'm doing that, you might have seen my back knee kind of straightens out. Try it on the other side if you like. Here. Fold up. Not pushing too much with my arms, just a little bit of a motion. From here, once you're on one knee, you can lift and just stand and end up like this, or if you're on one knee like this, you could step forward and into a front stance. Let's try that all together. All right, try it with each side a few times. See, in this case, I'm not even using my arms. But you can use your arms if you like, just to push off slightly and step. And from this position, you could really defend yourself, go anywhere, run anywhere. Great work! Thanks again for watching. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you found a way to stay safe. Get some rest, drink some water, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, stay safe in every way.